Hello, YouTube. Welcome back, everybody. Doc and Soth. We're playing some competitive twos. We always seem to have really good news about Rocket League. I don't know what it is, but it's just
There's just so much happening in Rocket League,
that's what it is.
especially as of late.
That's what it is.
But as of right about meow, we are having a double drop weekend in Rocket League. So it was Psyonix, Devin, Mr. Dev, one of the devs, which is really fun to say.
It's
Devin posted on Rocket League. As far as I am concerned, it was very unexpected, and I didn't feel like we got hardly any warning on it at all. But we were just told that we were getting a double drop weekend. So it has already started if you're seeing this video, because we already are taking part in it right now.
we're
And
double dropping
playing,
it,
and
or we're
internet's
trying. You know what that means, though? It means
I'm
basically in the course of a night, you might actually see an item or two now.
yeah,
That's
you might actually
Yeah.
see more than one thing
Yeah.
in a marathon session, which is not always the case. Very rarely is actually the case. So we're actually really excited about that dropping in, and it kind of, to me, it feels like more of a uh, like a community play date type thing, where some of the old like things like Halo Reach used to do and stuff, just dropping a community increase on the in-game currency or the in-game loot and stuff, just for no apparent reason other than the fact that they love us. And I'm okay with that. That's really cool, actually. So we're gonna get double drops on everything,
My bad.
including the chance for painted items. So painted items will be dropping double the amount as well. So if you're thinking about opening up crates and stuff, that's when a lot of people are doing that stuff. You're thinking about trading in uh, your rares to very rares and stuff. I am personally still going to hold on to those, because I think in the very next update, that I think we were guessing about October, they have promised that they're adding new stuff into that mechanic of the rares, very rares in imports and all that stuff.
Yes.
So I think we're going to get more movement on that particular portion of the game. But if you're so inclined, if you're looking for painted items, kind of like painted rares and stuff like that, here's your chance.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it runs from right now until the 5th of September, which is pretty cool. I think also we're probably seeing it because of the Labor Day weekend. So a lot of folks, especially in the United States,
Yeah.
will have the long weekend, the Monday off, which is always a great time. I would be surprised if other games like Call of Duty and stuff weren't also doing things as well. It's very typical with these long weekends that we see that kind of stuff, which I'm happy about. And honestly, it's something that the community's talked about wanting, and it was a huge hit back in July uh, when they did it the first time with the anniversary of the game. And I think it's just smart for them to keep the population up and to do that kind of stuff, because that's a great way to get casual gamers, people that might not play the game quite as much. It's a great way to get them back in it as well. Wow.
Absolutely, and I mean that thing was a boomer.
Yeah, it was.
It's really a good way to, like you said, kind of take advantage of a holiday, people being home and kids being off school and stuff, and trying to really get them to spend their time playing the game, which I think is really cool. And it's probably a good time to hit all of that, seeing as we just had a bunch of really productive Rocket League esport things. We
Yes, we did.
talked at length about the Universal Open, and we had all this build up, and we had all these regional championships and stuff beforehand, and we finally got it. And I personally did not feel let down.
No.
There was a lot that happened in that. There was Squishy Muffin and Torment in Cloud9, who were my personal locks to take it. Kind of saw them falter a little bit after dropping to Flipside. But the thing that I thought was really interesting is these powerhouse teams that we really expected a lot from. Some of them just completely fell on their face.
Yeah, they did.
And I think I'm pointing some of that to it being a 2-on-2 versus the standard 3-on-3 that we're used to seeing. But I mean, that can't be all of it. We do have a lot of new teams. So I think a lot of that is going to play into it. But I was actually really personally surprised to see the team Method, Metzenaris and Magnus, going to the finals.
Yeah.
Those are two, I think, actually in our video that we talked about before the tournament even happened, before the grand finals even happened. I actually said, well, they're not world beaters, but they'll play pretty well.
They showed you.
And they proceeded to just demolish. Yeah, they dismantled some really solid teams. When you put Pashy and Fairy Peak on a team, and they just get demolished by these guys that are not particularly seen as kind of some of the best people in the world, kind of players, that's really surprising to me. I think their defense was really amazing. At one point, they played 5 consecutive games without giving up a goal. They played like a huge stretch. I think they said it was like 8-9 game stretch where they didn't give up a goal while they were down. They were always leading, and it was really impressive. So I think Method as a team and Metzenaris and Magnus as players really gained a lot of fans from their play style and stuff. So it was really cool. Obviously, we did see Gale Force take it with K-Dop and Violent Panda, who are extremely solid players in their own right.
Oh yeah.
So definitely, I wouldn't say that's a surprise, at least to me. Those are two really productive players.
I think what you saw throughout the whole tournament, and again, good games overall. There weren't many games where I was kind of let down. Again, I think I was more let down with some of the teams that I expected to go longer and deeper into the tournament, bowing out early, which made it honestly even more exciting for the teams that stuck in. But it just went to show you and kind of what we had talked about, how you can be a great mechanical player, you can be a great threes player, and a lot of those skills, a whole lot of them, tons of them. Play into that. But I think there's still a lot of it where you had some of the teams that had just been playing twos for a long time. They've been twos teams, and that really it showed. It paid off. It showed how good they were, and I think that's why you had some of those matchups unfold like they did.
Yeah, and I actually had I had some discussions with some folks. I should have left that alone.
No, it was
about we actually saw some of the kind of semi-pro or budding pros do very well, much more so than we thought they might. Listening to kind of pundits and I should say, and other pros and stuff that were not taking part. And I think a lot of that kind of had to do with, like you said, these people playing twos and it being something that they're going to focus on more so than threes, whereas a lot of these pros are focused so much on threes for such a long period of time. They do play for hundreds and hundreds of hours just on threes, not even looking at mechanics and stuff. So I think that may have had to do with it.
Yeah, I definitely think it was a big part, because there's a lot of the team dynamics considered. Oh, did he throw?
Yeah, absolutely.
You? I couldn't tell if he threw you.
Go ahead. And I think that's part of what made Squishy and Torment on Cloud9 just so dangerous. I mean, they are fantastic threes players, but their aggression and their ability to play ones, I think, really translates well into the 2v2 game. And I mean, there was a lot being made of Karma being in the open, which, I mean, kind of for good reason. It's really fantastic to see female esport athletes who are good at the game, and that's kind of the growing trend that we're seeing and that we really want to see, especially in Rocket League. We really would love to see more female athletes in that, just because it's really a neat thing to kind of have folks be on a level playing field. So we don't see men's and women's basketball interact, whereas in esports, the cars in this game are the great equalizer. There's not going to be any particular thing that's going to give a guy an advantage over a girl or vice versa. So I think that's something that's really cool. But a lot was being made of Karma being there, and I can't remember her team name. Splice. Yeah,
Yep.
she's been on Splice for a while.
Yep.
Splice went up and played against Cloud9 and just absolutely got waxed. It was a slaughter. I think that first game was like 7-1 or 7-0, and the casters kind of didn't know what to say and to make of it, because we want a good tournament to show and we want a good entertainment. But that was one of those games, the very, very few I think in that tournament, where I was like, wow, this is just kind of people that are just not on the same playing field.
Right. Which is
These
funny
are just
because that was
two teams that are way apart.
that was almost that was close. From if my memory serves me correctly, which it sometimes does, I feel like those were that was one of the teams during their kind of qualifying matches that actually had a lot of really easy, not easy wins, but a lot of good success, and they kind of tore up the competition pretty good for the most part, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was her partner.
Hmm.
It was like Bluey, or it was one of those English guys, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And I mean, who's a good pro in his own right.
Yep.
Even though I can't remember his name, that doesn't reflect his skill.
Yeah, just bad
So
with
yeah,
names.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong there. I think they kind of had a little bit of an easy go in the regionals, but it just goes to show that us normal people who play this game a lot and who might get good at it, we are just nowhere near the level of these pros. Their technical ability and their consistency is just amazing.
Yes.
It's really impressive to see.
Yeah, I mean, but
I
overall,
could use some consistency now.
yeah, I know. Oh, overall, a great tournament. Really cool. It was something that I hope they continue more. I don't know if they need to expand it. I was trying to think of the ways that maybe we get more people into it. I think the best way to try to get some money out of it, honestly, is to put more money in it. And I think if you were to open up a prize pool, although the prize pool I thought was very competitive for what they had, I think if you open up that prize pool, you make it a little higher. I think that that obviously is going to bring in more teams, and it's going to get more pros, and it's going to get more people taking it seriously, probably. Oh, I wish I could have.
Absolutely, and I mean, $100,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah, it is.
But when you start breaking it down, kind of by teams and who's getting what and stuff, it's honestly not as much as you would kind of expect.
No.
And to see some of these other esports that are gaining a lot of traction, things not even like Dota and CS:GO and stuff, which are gonna always be your big money games, but to see games like Rainbow Six and golly, there was another one that was kind of going on this past weekend. Those prize pools are not the best in the world, and I feel like Rocket League is growing to a level where I think the money can be there.
Yeah.
And if that money does get there, then our sport is really going to grow very quickly.
Yeah, I think I think all of the viewership, it being televised, all those factors, I think you see start to play in. Oh, that was such a beautiful save, and it just went nowhere, did it?
I probably
Oh,
could have done a better job of that, but it's all right.
good game.
Yeah, but I mean, and that was the thing that was most confusing to me, is such a huge opportunity for player base, and to still not have a super good prize pool as far as money goes.
Right.
But we got a good tournament. We got the game in front of a lot of people, even though some of the things were cringy with in between games
There's a little bit of
and showing us
cringiness.
what GGEZ meant. Yeah, it was a little strange sometimes, but overall, really appreciated it. So we'll keep an eye out for the next big tournaments and stuff, and we'll continue to kind of talk some of the pro stuff, because I feel like this game is really, really fun to watch at a pro level. And then you get on and you're like, why can't I do 1/100th of what they do? I feel bad.
Yeah, I have a
but
hard
it's
time.
fun anyway.
I have a hard
So
time flying to the ceiling, so we'll just leave that as that. But double drop weight weekend, all weekend long, starting right now, running through the 5th. Uncommons, crates, painted items. Get out there. We got the details. It's a very short forum post down below in the comments. So if you want to check out the official Rocket League page, please check down there, take a look at it. And as always, our last Rocket League video did pretty good, so I'm really happy about that. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment, follow us. We've got the Average Gamer Guys fan club, if you will, on Xbox. So feel free to join all that great stuff. Thanks for watching. Doc and Sloth, Average Gamer Guys. Check in the next one.